Evening, welcome to this week's meeting of the Norton Board of Selectmen. Today is August 24th, 2017. Let the record show that 4 members are present. Mr. Steele couldn't be with us tonight, along with Town Manager Michael Units. Pledge of allegiance, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, on the licenses and permits, we have an application of Peter Gagney for a one-day beer and wine license to be utilized at the Everett Park on Sunday, September 3rd, 2017, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. for a private party. I believe you all have a copy of it in your file. Anyone have any questions or concerns?
No.
It's signed off by police, fire, and building inspector, so everything seems to be in order. It will not be necessary to have a police officer on duty and be a party for less than 100. No discussion. Chair entertains a motion to approve the application of Peter Gagney for a one-day beer and wine license to be utilized at the Everett Park for Sunday, September 3rd, 2017, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. for a private party.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Flaherty?
Yes.
Mr. Salvo?
Yes.
Mr. Bramwell?
Yes.
I too vote yes. Okay. Mr. Clerk, under announcements?
Yes. I have the Addicts Mum Light of Hope. We invite you to join us at the Addicts Mum TAM host their annual nationwide campaign to honor and support all those who have lives have been touched by addiction. Saturday, September 9th, 2017, at 6 p.m., Plainville Town Hall, 142 South Street, Plainville, Mass. It's across from Cumberland Farms. Guest speakers included former New England Patriots player Chris Sullivan, his wife Kathy Meyer Sullivan, Stop the Stigma, End the Silence. And that, again, that'll be on September 9th, 2017, 6 p.m. at the Plainville Town Park, 142 South Street, Plainville, Massachusetts. I also have an announcement. Town offices will be closed Monday, September 4th, 2017, in the observance of Labor Day. Have a safe and happy Labor Day weekend. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Bramwell, anything?
I have nothing.
Flaherty?
I have nothing.
Okay, nothing else. Okay, under new business, we have a vote to Autumn Lane Street acceptance to be placed on the October 23rd, 2017 Fall Town Meeting and to refer it to the Planning Board for public hearing. Mr. Units?
Yeah, you have a letter from the planning board, and I think the developer is here tonight, that she's recommending that an article be placed on the warrant to accept Autumn Lane. It's a cul-de-sac off of Stonyfield Road, and in your packet, you should have the letter and the plan for acceptance by Rim Engineering.
Anyone have any questions?
When we go to look at acceptances due to problems in the past, we're going to have, I know we're going to have the town planner, but we also have the highway department. Were they going to check in with us?
Keith has checked it, but I'll have him give you a letter.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe you're right, Brad, absolutely. We should have a letter from the highway superintendent saying that all the conditions have been met. There's probably bond money still attached to this, right?
Yes.
Of some sort. But probably before we release the whole project, we definitely want to make sure that everything's in order, So you want to come up and say anything, or?
No, I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good so far.
Okay.
The only other question I
Go
have
ahead, Brad.
is about streetlights. Are there streetlights on the street? And if so, are they compatible with the Mass Electric lights?
We got a waiver
Identify
from
yourself, please.
I'm sorry, Jay Zola, Folkman Zola Builders, Mansfield, Mass. We got a waiver from the planning board. There's no streetlights.
Okay.
Each house has its own post lane.
Okay,
also the
fine.
end of the driveway, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so that way you didn't have to deal with Mass Electric and leave the town with a bill. We thought everyone would be happier.
You know, in the past, some developers have put in lights that are not the
Compatible.
same as
Yeah,
Mass.
this way here, there was no maintenance on the town's part, and
Okay.
everyone was happy.
Okay, that answers that question. Thank you.
Sure thing.
So this is off Stonyfield Road?
Yes. Larson Farms?
Okay, now I know we are, okay. Anybody have any other questions? Okay. So, Chair, entertain a motion to approve, to place on the October 23rd, 2017 Fall Annual Town Meeting, Autumn Lane Street acceptance, and refer this to the Planning Board for its public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, thanks.
That's a good way to do the streetlights. It would be good if
Yeah.
they did that more often. If
Yeah.
people want the street lit, they can hit the switch.
Yeah, very much, yeah. Okay, next we have vote to support the application of Mass Work grants to install infrastructure for the West Main Street sewer project. Mr. Units?
As you know, the West Main Street Sewer Project is the project that will begin down by the Housing Authority and run down West Main Street to the Town Center Pump Station on Wheaton College campus. And as part of this project, to help defray some of the costs, we've applied for a Mass Works grant for $750,000. And the Water and Sewer Commission is seeking a vote of support and a letter from the Board of Selectmen for the Mass Works grant.
What would this money be used for, Mike?
Say that again?
What would the money be used for? Would it be used for the project on the property itself or on the street?
In the street.
Anyone have any questions?
No, if the money's available, we should definitely
Oh, yeah.
make every attempt to get it.
Because we have so few users on the system that any work we do puts a burden on them. And what we'll be emphasizing in the letter that will go to the state is that we want to develop the downtown, and right now there's businesses that can't develop there because of the lack of storage. I know some of the businesses that are there, systems are a little iffy, and some of them have said they don't know how long their systems are going to hang on, so they really want the storage. And we have some vacant parcels that could also be developed, and the schools will tie in, and housing authority, so.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
Seeing none, the chair entertain a motion to vote to support the application of Mass Works grant to install infrastructure for the West Street, Main Street sewer project in the amount of $750,000.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Okay, next we have the review of the October 23rd, 2017 annual town meeting warrant list. Mr. Units.
You have the list, just a list right now, obviously, there's 34 articles right now proposed, or as placeholders for the warrant, and some of them are the standard, the operating budget amendments, collective bargaining, separation expense, unpaid bills, and then we also have, as you can see, the home market foods, TIF, an article for engineering and design for the town hall and council on aging, land acquisition for Camp Edith Reed, some work we have to do on the Chartley Pond Dam, and the water department has a few articles, 3 articles, the water and sewer department. And then the schematic design for the potential window and door replacement at the Yell, Salmonese, and LG Norse are some of the major articles. And when we get a warrant ready with more info on the articles, we'll get that to you.
Anyone see anything that they we might have missed or anything? And we've been talking about, a lot about some certain
Oh,
things.
What's the codification article? Didn't we just go do that a couple of years ago?
We haven't done it. It's been on and on and on. We're waiting for council to review it. Codification is we're taking all our bylaws and organizing them in a way that people can access them online easier. And so
I just thought we had moved that a couple of years ago.
we funded it to have the work done, but now we're waiting for council to approve it so we can move forward with the numbering of all the articles, all the bylaws.
Now, the Phase 2 inspection investigation report for Charlie Pond and the upstream wall repairs, that got to do with the dam itself, or?
It does. And as you can see also on there is the bylaw for the temporary moratorium on marijuana establishments. And I was looking at some of the directive from Copman and Page on that, and we're gonna have to put articles on the May warrant just in case the voters vote not to ban the sale of marijuana. We'll have to have some articles on there to limit the amount of establishments we want in town and where we want them. And also, we have to accept a statute in order to be able to accept the sales tax money.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
do you think it's a good idea to form a committee now to try to do some research on how we're gonna handle this whole thing with the marijuana thing? I mean, is it worth, I mean, if we do, if we don't, I mean, should we be thinking of certain bylaws that could be banging our heads together and not at the last minute? I mean, or should we just wait to see if we adopt it or we don't adopt it?
No, I think the planning board will have to work on, the town planner will work with the planning board. We'll have to have bylaws
And
on the May warrant in case, to be ready in case.
How does that happen? Does a person from each department get involved, or how do we form this? They draw up the bylaw?
Usually the planning board, we sit down upstairs, myself, Board of Health, Building Inspector, Planning. If it's something that involves conservation, the police would be involved in this and would develop a bylaw. Now, the question I have for council in that directive that came out from Copman Page, I'm not sure if you put limitations on them, if that then has to be also voted by the voters. So that's something that we need clarification on. But right now, we'd have the moratorium on until June 30th next year.
Good to me.
Could you get us some more information on on 22, you want to rescind the betterment bylaw and accept Mass General Law, Chapter 83, the future municipal sewer project? I'd be curious to see what we have now and what they're trying to propose. And also, I'm not sure what Article 20 is about, to establish legal protection of defined archaeologically sensitive and or significant portions of water department property.
That's something they're required to do on the areas where they found Indian artifacts. They actually have to protect them.
Anyone else looking for any additional information this time that we can get here, or we can wait and see what shakes out and see what's there?
I'd like to see, more than the title.
Oh, yeah.
I like to see the explanation of what each one of these things.
Yeah, we'll
And
have that.
those will generate questions in my
Right.
mind.
We'll have that for the next meeting.
What's WPAT?
Water Pollution Abatement Trust.
Okay.
Okay. So as we obviously have to approve all these, but before we approve them, we should have a pretty good understanding about what we're talking about before we do it, so. On the marijuana, the laws, the one thing I think we did a few years ago, we did establish a zone for this down in the industrial park. So we've at least removed, anything from most of the time into one section, section of the town.
But is that still binding on this marijuana, because that was on medical marijuana.
Right, you're
Where
right.
This is recreational marijuana.
Okay.
It's a different law, so I think
So we gotta-
it's totally different.
And again, the laws are changing as we speak because they're still working on it too.
Right.
Trying to figure out how to
And that's
how to
part
make
of,
it work.
that's part of the problem, if you look at that directive from Copeland Page, the dates when they're actually gonna form the commission, and then they're gonna decide on the rules and regulations, none of that's been done yet.
Any other questions?
Lot to do.
Next on the agenda, we have the review of the tax increment financing proposal with Home Market Foods. Mr. Yunus?
Did, I think, they'd like to come up and just talk to you on
Come on
this
up.
first portion.
Could you just identify again for the record so we have a copy of it, please?
Good evening, Troy Totten from Home Market Foods, and I want to thank Mike for his work to attract Home Market Foods to the town of Norton. By way of introduction, Home Market Foods is a privately held, family-owned business. We're headquartered in Norwood, and our business manufactures foods that you'd find at your local grocery store, meatballs and chicken wings and some really wholesome products. And our business has continued to grow, and we started looking for locations to expand. And as I said, working with Mike, we identified the town of Norton as a potential location for us. And so we are in the process of considering to purchase the formerly Cisco building. And so, you know, we're here basically to seek some support and partnership to attract us into this area. It's a significant purchase for us and requires a significant amount of investment. And so, in turn, we'll be bringing some jobs and basically filling a facility right now that's under, that's underutilized. And so, our goal is to come in and to renovate the facility and occupy. We'll occupy about 25% of it, and the balance will be space that we would look to continue to lease to others. But we're going to be operating it. We're going to be investing in it, and then we would be there on a regular basis. The current operator is actually an out-of-state owner. They have a third party that sort of manages the facility, and so it's a bit of arm's length, and we're going to be a hands-on partner in the community. And so so we're here to seek some support from the councilman to really from the selectmen to really help us to come into Norton and become part of the family.
Sounds great. I know one concern that we're going to hear, and we need to address it right from the top, and it's something we will have to talk more about, is, first of all, I think it's a wonderful idea. I think you guys are going to be a great addition to the community, and I'm looking forward to working with you to make sure this is a smooth acquisition and transition so you guys can keep it going. But at the same time, we will have to address the concerns of the neighborhood as far as the truck traffic and how that's diverted and all that. So, Mike, I'm so sure that's something you're going to be working on too. Just making sure we have the right path out of it. It is an industrial parcel. Eddy Street and Don Scott Boulevard are right at not too far from where you are. And, you know, hopefully the intent would be to take it down Eddy Street, out through the industrial park or 140 or out that way. So that's something you...
When we met with Troy, the town planner was there as well as the assessor, and there was discussion on this, and right now, any work that's done on that building would not need any site plan approval. It's already a pre-existing building. And so this was a good opportunity for us, and Troy agreed that we would have a memorandum of understanding put in place along with the TIF on the truck route. So that would be something that we'd agree on and enforce. And we did discuss the route, and Troy knows the route because we wanted them to know up front so they weren't surprised about anything. And it would be that route that they'd come out, take a left, go down South Worcester to Eddy Street, and then go that way out through the industrial park. So
I think is it Woodard Street?
Yes.
It's out there. I know there's no trucking on that street, but maybe at some point we should talk about rearranging the end of the street so it would almost be impossible for a truck to go down that street, and maybe that would
An
discourage
island.
them from doing something like that.
And as Troy said, we're fortunate to have a good local company that we know there's someone we can contact, not someone out of state. When the trucks aren't doing what they're supposed to do, we know we have a local person we can. And I did talk to a neighbor. I had coffee at the senior center the other day, and there was a neighbor that lives in the area, and we had this discussion, and she seemed happy with that, what I told her, so.
Right, and we'd have, so as Mike said, we've agreed to a memorandum of understanding. I mean, we want to be a good neighbor for sure. And we would have leadership on site 24 hours a day, at least 5 days a week, probably more like 6 or 7, that they would be in direct contact, as well as you're just calling over to Norwood, and of course you all have my card as well, so we'll definitely be a good neighbor in that regard. And then just, I know Mike and I talked about this before, but we have a relationship with Cisco because they're frankly a customer of ours, and I asked them about when they ran the business, what was it like, and I can just tell you that although we intend to utilize that facility, we're going to utilize it in a very different way. And so, their volume of trucks was substantially greater than anything we will ever do. So they were doing up to 80 inbounds a day and up to 160 outbounds a day. We will not even be close to, it will be less than half of that, maybe even a quarter of that.
Okay, very good.
So significantly lower volume of inbounds and outbounds.
If I may, it's my understanding that the South Worcester Street will be a warehouse for product that you make in Norwood and ship to Norton for storage.
Correct.
So in that case, I think most of the problem with Cisco was inbound was trucks that did not belong to them, and they were getting there from all over the country at different times of the day.
Yeah.
And it was the trucks idling that caused most of the problem, where you were going to be controlling the trucks that are going from Norwood to
Right.
Norton.
So the trucks coming in will be all of our own trucks.
Right.
And the trucks going out will be all of our product going out to our customers.
Right.
Again, trucks that we control.
Right, and I think it was the inbound traffic that was more of a problem, because the trucker might show up at 2 a.m. and not have a slot on the loading dock
Sure.
until 8. So he'd just sit on the side of the street idling, and with the refrigerator units, it made a lot of noise and disrupted people's nights. And that shouldn't happen in this case. It's a totally different thing.
Good. Mr. Parry?
So the outgoing trucks, where you say that you control them, are they yours or are they contract carrier?
Contractors. So
Okay.
we don't have our own fleet of trucks.
Okay.
For the outbound delivering across the country. So, but they are contracted by us. So we feel like we have control of them right now because we're, calling them in and out of our own contracted facilities and our own locations. But they're contracted trucking.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay.
And so we sat down, and I think one of the things that you have to realize, and I'm sure you all do, is that building is 40% vacant right now. So they're getting an exemption on their taxes because the building has so much vacant space. So right away, by the new development and the new space that's going to be occupied, that goes away. So, the tax revenue would be greater. And we sat down, and as Troy said, because they're making a significant investment, and it's an investment in a company that we feel will benefit the town. We don't want that building sitting there empty, and we don't want it split up to 20 different trucking companies that we have no control over. So this is a great option for us, and we think it's a good opportunity for them. And we went back and forth on a TIF agreement that we felt would benefit both of us. And it'd be a 10-year TIF agreement, so not that long of a TIF agreement. And if you look at the average tax revenue to the town, it will be $83,653 more a year with this development. And the benefit to the company on projected annually is about $47,672 over each year over the 10 years. So not a huge amount of money for a TIF, but when they're investing the $25 million that they're going to be investing in this project, it'll help out somewhat, with their investment.
Okay. And
And the company, as you can see on that first page, is looking to add 20 new jobs. These would be all new jobs, I believe, Troy, the 20 new jobs.
Yes.
And
Yes, they're all new jobs.
material handling, shipping, receiving, equipment maintenance, and site management, so different opportunities for people.
this wouldn't be the first TIF we've offered to a pre-existing building, location. We've done it before. We did it with auto parts. We did it with Horizon. I mean, that was General Motors plant. So we've done these before, and we've been very successful in the past as a town because they've all turned into very good neighbors. And if made contributions to the community we probably wouldn't get, well, obviously not going to get from an empty building. And to be honest with you, that Cisco building has been a concern of mine for a long time because I don't like to see big empty buildings sitting in town with no purpose. And we finally have one, which is perfect, that I think will work out well for you and for us. So I think it's a win-win for both sides, so.
And it doesn't take long, when a building becomes empty, it doesn't take long for it to run down
It goes
fast.
fast, yeah.
So,
Okay, any other questions? Anything, you need to address anything, or let me read that? Okay. So, I would entertain a motion to vote to recommend a town meeting approve a proposed 10-year tax increment financing agreement pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 59, and Mass General Law, Chapter 23A, Sections 3E and 3F, between Home Market Foods Incorporated and Dow Realty LLC and the town of Norton for the proposed property, and authorized the submission of same for approval to the Massachusetts Economic Assistance Coordinating Council, which is the EACC. Well, I also would recommend that we vote, well, let me do that one first. I have two votes here, so
So moved.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Do a roll call. Mr. Flaherty?
Yes.
Salvo?
Yes.
Mr. Bramwell?
Yes.
I too vote yes. I also ask that we vote to recommend the town meeting approve the acceptance of proposed Economic Development Incentive Program, the EDIP, a local incentive-only application by Home Market Foods Incorporated and Dow Realty LLC, and authorize the submission of same for the approval to the EACC.
So moved.
The motion, we have a second.
Second.
Motion is second. Is there any further discussion, questions, anything? Okay back there?
I am great.
Okay. Would you like to say something before we take a vote, or,
Well,
come on up?
just that, I look forward to a favorable vote, obviously tonight, and also from town meeting, so that we can then take it to the state for their approval. Because that's the last piece of the process. And we have been very successful with Norton in every presentation we've made. And to your point of the reuse of a building, that we've done it before, and we've been successful with all of those, is even more reason for them to approve it. So
Okay.
I'm confident that the state will be helpful, and some of these guys are new neighbors, so good work by everybody. And special thanks to the town manager for his efforts and then keeping us on the map and with the comments. So thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Representative Barrows, appreciate it. Wayne, you want to add anything?
Good evening. I just quickly wanted to thank Mike Units and the Board of Selectmen for continuing to be pro-business. You have a great region, you have great companies. little tout out to New England Ice Cream tonight for,
By the way, just so everyone knows, after I've embarrassed them twice, they actually brought in ice cream samples tonight, so Bruce and his team, yes, thank you very much.
yes, Bruce Ginsburg.
Everybody in town hall got a sample of the ice cream tonight.
That's
so
great.
That worked out well.
And as far as the actual TIF agreement, we'll be working on the formal agreement to bring back to you for your signature after town meeting.
Okay.
Thank
Sounds
you.
great. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have a vote, we have a motion and a second to accept the proposed economic development incentive program. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Flaherty?
Yes.
Mr. Salvo?
Yes.
Mr. Bramwell?
Yes.
I too vote yes. So,
Thank you
really
very much.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay in touch. Okay, anything here? Nope. Okay, next page. Okay, on the old business, we have a review and our vote to, right of first refusal, statement of proposed use under Chapter 61A, Wind Farms LLC, a small parcel of land located off of Bay Road. The units?
This came before you a couple times, I think, and we were waiting for the Conservation Commission to review this, and we did receive a letter back from the Conservation Commission stating that they received the first right of refusal, and they took it up at a regular conservation meeting, and they currently, the parcel does not abut any other conservation properties. And while it is located within the Canoe River area of critical environmental concern and sole source aquifer, the commission felt that there are other more desirable properties that they would pursue at this point. And the commission voted not to recommend the selectmen exercise the right of first refusal.
Anyone have any questions? We talked about this, I think, I know. I mean, it's a sliver of land, it's not even, I mean, I'm not sure it even connects to each other.
Right.
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. Okay, seeing no discussion, the chair entertain motion to, on the issue of first refusal, to
Not exercise.
not exercise our rights under the first refusal.
Second.
Or, yeah, that was the best I could do. For a parcel of land located off Bay Road. Have a motion and a second?
Yep. Thanks.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, Home Manager's report.
Just to give you an update on the water bodies, they were treating them again this week, and they're very satisfied on how the reservoir is working. They think things look real good there, and they have some work to do still at Winnicunnet, but they feel they're confident that they'll end up getting control of the plants. It's just taking longer than they thought it would, but they have a lot of upstream flow coming into the lake that has affected the treatments, but they are still they were back out there this week to treat it again. So it will be an ongoing process, and hopefully this works and improves the situation.
Did they give you any idea what that stuff is floating on Winnicott? There's a lot of that stuff along the edges.
Yeah, there is some algae there, and then it's that other buckwheat or whatever they call it. And, that's what they're working on controlling now.
What about mosquitoes? I read something today about
Yep.
some findings.
There was a hit in Norton in a trap with West Nile virus, and no one should really panic because there was a hit in a trap. Think about one mosquito getting in a trap. People should know already that it's out there, West Nile virus, Triple E, and if we didn't get a hit, it's still out there potentially, so people should take the precautions that the Board of Health recommends, and I think I gave you information on that. People should wear long sleeve shirts. They should, especially at dusk, they should have insect spray on, and be prepared. You gotta take precautions. We've got Lyme disease with ticks and
I think,
I think we've all had that.
3 here.
I think overall, it hasn't been that bad this year.
Hasn't.
I know I haven't had a tick at all this year, and any of the dogs. And mosquitoes,
Brad and I found them all.
I treat it, I have somebody treat my yard, but for the most part, it's been very, very good.
Yeah, and the trap is on 495 over by where the rodeo is in that area. But, I mean, we know this is something that we have now, and you just gotta take precautions.
I mean, I know it's getting late in the year too, but Bristol County Mosquito Control does a great job of spraying. If anyone out there has any concerns, you can call them. What we do in my neighborhood is my wife sets it up where they all call together, and they'll come down and just do the whole street. So, if you are concerned, you want to do something about it, you can actually have them come in and spray for you. And I'll tell you, with all that river and everything I've got around me, I mean, I occasionally get one buzzing by me, but I really don't feel that much of it at all.
And their number is 508-823-5253, and they will come out.
Mike, can you give that back again?
Yep. It's 508-823-5253.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, anything else? What about the lights, the pole lights, or the street lights for town? What's going on with Mass Electric?
The last we talked with her, she was checking a few subdivisions that Keith responded back to her on that were private and weren't the town. And we expected, I'll contact her again tomorrow because we expected her to have a price for us soon after that.
Because I know there's some grant money out there to take advantage of this, and I don't want it to dry up before we take it, get the opportunity to do
Or the
something.
price to go up.
Oh, that too, yeah. Okay. Okay, under appointments and resignations, we don't have anything, but I do see a list here, Mr. Units, from Parks and Recreation.
The Recreation Commission Director, Nicole Cuneo, is recommending that the board appoint following to the Recreation Commission: Vittoria Bravetti, Alexandria Tibbet Green, Lorna Hutchings, Robert Kerr, Nicole Pryharski, Sonia Silas, and Michael Young.
Okay. I mean, normally we have letters of interest. Have
Right.
you seen anything at
Get
all?
those.
Let's put them on the next agenda. I think it's very important that we get this committee up and running again.
Yep.
So, I mean, I honestly don't have a problem doing it, but I think we have to have something, some kind of letter. What do you think,
Yep.
Brad?
I do.
We're going every 2 weeks?
Yep.
And October is coming soon. I'd appoint them, if they've shown an interest to the Recreation Director.
Okay.
I would say, let's get them on board, and
Okay.
that way, if they want to meet, they're appointed, and they can meet before we come back.
Well, it would be a couple of things, too. We'd probably have to ask the town manager to set up a meeting where we could we'd have to organize. 'Cause I don't believe there's anyone left.
No.
So it would be, if we vote to do this tonight, we should recommend to Mr. Yunus that you call a meeting of this group together, establish a chair, vice chair, clerk, or whatever they have, and try to get it up and running again, as you say, as soon as possible. We don't want to wait too long for it, so. So if everybody's okay with that,
I'm good with it.
okay, then,
There's a lot of work to be done between now and the end of October.
yeah, it's coming fast, like you said.
I mean, now is time, I think she probably already did it, but sending letters out to people that are interested in entering the parade. I mean, it's August, so
They have their first meeting next Tuesday.
nice.
She's,
She's on the ball.
oh, she,
It's a little bit too much on the ball for me, but she's on the ball.
yeah, she's been very
Good person, a lot of energy.
Yes, and I do the Spirit of North Banner at the parade.
There you go.
Doing parade, and I'm having a good time there. So hopefully people will get involved in the Charlie Halloween parade, and I will promote this on the Peter channel that people need help to pitch into the Charlie Halloween parade. Right, you all?
Thank you, Peter.
You, Peter?
Okay, so at the recommendation of Nicole Cuneo, I would entertain that we appoint the following people to the Park and Recreation Committee. Unfortunately, we have 1, 2, 3 year, we just put them out there, and we'll figure out later on, you'll have to figure
When
out
we do the letters, well.
how we're going to do it with 1, 2, 3 year appointments, but Victoria Bravetti, Alexander Tibbet Green, Warner Hutchins, Robert Kerr, Nicole Pryaski, Sonia Silas, and Michael Young. Chair, entertain a motion to appoint. So we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous, and Mr. Eunice, would you call a meeting and get them organized, please, as soon as you can?
What day do they meet? What night they meet?
I'm not, that's probably one of the things they're gonna decide when
Yeah.
they get together for their
Didn't they used
first
to meet
meeting.
Thursday
Is it
nights?
Thursday nights?
I think they used to be up there on
I
Thursday.
thought it was Thursday, but
I'm thinking Wednesday, because I know they'd be up there when we had finance down
Okay.
here, because it'd be really hard to concentrate sometimes.
Okay, well, if you can set that up,
Yep.
establish a night that works for them too, that's fine.
If I could just mention, I did forget, I had coffee at the, it was coffee with the town manager at the Council on Aging this week, and there was some good questions, and obviously, the main concern of this Council on Aging is it's not suitable where they're located right now. The building's too small. It was really tough because of the person that was talking, there was a big crowd. So they were parking way back, and Keith was having stone delivered because he's doing chip sealing this week. And the highway had to come in at one point and have people move their cars because they couldn't get in the back to deliver the stone. And so it was just an example of how screwed it is in that area. They did talk about the importance of moving forward on a new Council on Aging. The number of seniors is increasing, and I did think about that when I was talking, that in 2024, the next eclipse, I will be on Medicare. So, everyone in town has to think they're getting closer to that point where they'll be utilizing the COA, and so they were very concerned about that. Obviously, the concern about rusty water, which I spoke to Bernie about, and we did talk about the improvements that are going to be made on East Main and West Main sewer projects. So it was a good meeting.
Okay, good. Okay. Warrants and minutes. Salvo.
yes. Mr. Chairman, thank you. At this time, I'd like to approve the biweekly payroll warrant number PR4 for the period ending August 12, 2017, dated August 17, 2017, in the amount of $572,436.15.
Second.
Motion is second. Further discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Mr. Salvo.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to approve the invoice warrant AP7 dated August 17, 2017, in the amount of $1,050,168.68.
Second.
Motion is second on AP 7. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Mr. Salvo.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to approve invoice warrant AP8 dated August 24, 2017, in the amount of $67,031.44.
Second.
Motion is second on AP 8. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. We have minutes from April 13, 2017, executive session. Everyone have a chance to take a look at them? So, Chairman, entertain a motion to approve executive session of April 13, 2017 as written. Have a second? We need, let's see who we have here. Nope, we're going to hold off on that one. Only the two of us were here. We'll have to hold off until Mr. Steele comes back, so we won't be able to approve the minutes. By the way, Mike and I have been talking about this, and probably should put it on the next agenda to talk about it. Under these warrants, we don't all have to sign it by state law. One of us can do it. I don't care if it's the chair or the clerk or who it is, but I'm thinking maybe we should put that on the agenda to talk about it. We were calling you guys in a panic on Wednesday afternoon to come running in here to sign everything. We can authorize one person to do that, and I think we need to talk about it. And I don't know, probably, personally, I think it's probably the clerk, but it could be anybody.
After October, you'll be able to do it every week. That's what I was told. I mean, there's some rumor going around, something.
Do what every week?
After October, you can sign it every week. You'll be able to sign it every week.
So,
Why?
just on that, the school committee did do it. They voted to have one signature, and whoever signs them will then just present them at the next meeting, so you'll know.
So do they highlight some of the things that they see in it, or
They just sign it, and then they just inform the board at the next meeting that the warrant had been signed, and everyone.
Now, in a case like that, do you have like an alternate?
That's a good question. That's something we gotta find out. That's a very good question.
Especially where, either somebody might be on vacation, thinking about the time of
Right.
the year, or somebody might be ill.
Yep.
And it might be inconvenient to get here.
Could all five of us be authorized to sign it? Just,
That would be logical, just as long as, but no, you'd have to have one person, and then I'll find out if there can be an alternate.
it could be chair, vice chair, clerk, in that order. If I'm away on vacation and someone has to sign something, then the next person takes over, that kind of stuff.
It just seems, I don't like the idea of putting all your fish in one basket, or all your eggs in one basket.
So like we do it now, everybody signs the warrant, so we wouldn't have to do that anymore? Just be whoever
One person.
you designate, somebody.
Chairs always change and the clerk changes.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
changes, so it'll be different people looking at it. Hopefully.
That's another question I'll ask council. Is it the position of the person? Can you authorize the chair to sign, or do you authorize Bob Kimball to sign? So if you can just authorize the clerk to sign, and I guess that would carry forward, but I think you might have to name a name. But I'll double check.
Name goes with it.
Yeah, I'll check with council on
And
that.
we could do it the same way you do it. When Mike's on vacation, he'll authorize the chair, and he'll name me, to do certain things. Maybe say I'm chair and I'm not gonna be here, I authorize Brad to do it, or whatever, just on paper. But I know I'm not gonna be around. The problem is when I am around, I can't make it, then that's a problem.
right.
So, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Okay. On the next meeting, we have petition National Grid to install a 35-foot support stub pole across the street from pole number 1292 NE 29 on Hill Street on town property. There's a letter in here, Mike, from Old Colony Rest Home. Did you see that? I'm not quite sure.
What?
It's a notice of pending change of ownership. I guess what I'm confused about is the nursing home is no longer there.
Right.
Right,
So-
what it is someone else, another nursing home in the state is looking to have their beds that were theirs, Old Colony, assigned to them.
It's not really their beds, but their bed space.
Yeah.
Space, yeah.
So
So they
if
want to
we-
get credit for them, right? Credit
What?
for their beds.
I'm not sure, I think it's got to do with licensure
Right.
and stuff like that, that you can license a facility for X number of beds. This other place probably may have 100 beds, and they want to increase to 150, and they want to buy,
Right,
Correct, yeah.
Okay. I guess what we're doing, though, as a town, we're kind of giving up the bed space, which we don't have a place for them anyway,
right?
and allowing someone else in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to take up those extra spots. Okay. All right. I just have a letter from Nicole Borman. Did you see that, about her interest in serving on the Housing Authority? Bob, have you seen, you guys have seen that? No. I would recommend that we turn it over to the Housing Authority first and let you guys decide what you want to do, but,
I think she's more looking for a position, not,
She wants to get on the board?
no.
Oh, no, I
No,
read
no,
that one.
just someone like, I don't know why you got
Have you seen it?
You know, that's the other thing, I mean, I should have brought up again tonight. I mean, we keep reading into these vacancies, and we're not getting anybody. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to
You still have one?
still have a vacancy, yeah. Tough.
But maybe take a look at that one. If not, we should probably give another update on all the vacant positions we do have. I mean, I know, almost every board and committee in town has somebody missing. I mean, I'm on the Gold Star Committee, we're missing one person there. You know, we've got Recreation, we've got Housing Authority, we've
More
got
important, the Board of Assessors.
Board of Assessors, yeah. We've got a
Southeastern-
lot of stuff. We probably should get a
Southeastern
list.
Regional School Committee.
Oh, my God, yeah. And by the way, I'm still trying to find out from Bristol County what that position is. I called twice and left messages, and she hasn't called me back. Well, as soon as I find out what that is, I'll let you guys know. But I'll see if I can get some information on that.
Did you
Okay.
get appointed to that? Did you guys vote on it?
Yeah, we voted
You
in.
did. You tried to make clarity, but it didn't work.
Usually you do it, the way I got on the Capital Improvement Committee years ago, was they kind of wait until you're not around and they do stuff.
Right.
At this point, Mr.
Can I
Steele.
get a copy of that, so I can give that to Andrea tomorrow?
Take,
You don't need it?
Take it.
Probably have one in my file, too,
yeah, you should.
Just take
Yeah,
it.
someplace.
somewhere in there.
Okay. Is there anything else to come before the board? And none, the chair entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion to second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.